we'll just start from where we left off yesterday. Yeah. So we'll do a quick recap of what we did yesterday, and then we'll continue our journey. Yeah, because this learning Lightning Web Component, right? It's not something that it's going to get over in a day or two. Okay. So we are here to start our journey in Lightning Web Component, so that you will understand the fundamentals. You will know how to create and then deploy all such things, right, in LWC, and then you can further improvise your Lightning Web Component skill. Okay, so that be it a simple implementation or a very complex implementation, right, you can able to uh, get it done through Lightning Web Component. Yeah, you must have noticed, right, in Salesforce these days everything or everywhere it's Lightning Web Component. Yeah, so of course Aura component did rule that ground, okay, for quite some time, but now Salesforce has started advocating us to start embracing the modern web technologies, which is the Lightning framework, which comprises of HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, isn't it? So I think that's the first thing that we started learning yesterday, isn't it? So we we started off yesterday with this note, correct? So you should certainly have knowledge about HTML, JavaScript, CSS, because you are Lightning Web Component. It's nothing but a JavaScript framework. Yeah. So which is using the three web technologies, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And remember the technology that we spoke about yesterday, correct? So a plain JavaScript has been in existence since 1995. Okay, over the years it did go through a lot of changes, and 2016 or 2015 rather, right, was a major milestone in the JavaScript journey, because that's when the ECMA team, remember there is a technical committee that governs the standards in the JavaScript, right? So that team put together a lot of reusable functions, easy to use methods, etc. So that gave a boost to JavaScript. Yeah, so until that point, right, we were relying on some other JavaScript libraries like React, Electron, Node, everything. Still there is a space for all these frameworks in the market today, but people went ahead with these frameworks earlier because they were lack of flexibility. Okay, in JavaScript you can able to achieve everything in JavaScript, but you have to write a long a bunch of code. Instead, these frameworks out there, right, were offering the same thing, okay, with a simple one or two lines of code. Okay, so that's what as a developer we prefer all the time, right? So instead of writing hundreds of lines of code, I can able to achieve that with simple 10 lines of code. So that's how these frameworks gain that popularity. Okay, so on the same lines, JavaScript, Salesforce also created this their own framework. Okay, JavaScript, again, if you go deep into that, you will find a bunch of JavaScript files written by Salesforce. Okay. Now, we did talk about all these things yesterday, isn't it? And also we decided to step up our knowledge around JavaScript, correct? Because basic JavaScript will help you, will design some basic functionalities, but you certainly need to have knowledge about little advanced concepts like events, import export, we talked about it yesterday, right, called HTML modules, promises, all such things. Okay, so we picked up couple of things yesterday, like import export, we talked about classes, etc., correct? So we will continue now. Okay, we will try to create Lightning Web Component, and when we talk about Lightning Web Component, when we reach to a stage where we need to understand the fundamentals of JavaScript behind it, we can create a simple JavaScript code, understand it, then come back and then continue on Lightning Web Component. Okay, so that's the plan. Okay, all right. So yes, all right. I think this is where we stopped yesterday. Web components, right? So why did we even come to this web components discussion? Is it because we know that today. I'll go to W3 schools. Okay, W3 skills HTML.
It's not shared, I think, Rajesh.
It's not shared, is it? I'm so sorry. I thought all this time I've been sharing my screen. I'm so sorry about it. All right. Yeah, good. Okay. So we all know that this HTML, HTML tags, correct? Whatever we see here, right? Every tag that we see here, block code, image, H1, H2, everything, right? It's managed by, or it is governed by W3 consortium. We call it W3C. Okay, those are the custodians. If there is a new HTML tag to be introduced and to be recognized by the browser, right? It is the W3 consortium, okay, that takes that responsibility of creating it or introducing a new tag. Okay, yeah. But when we develop lightning web component, okay, so Salesforce has also they also have a bunch of tags. Okay, so this is where you have to bookmark this particular. Okay, I'll give this link in the chat window. Okay, so please bookmark this. Okay, because this is the place where we are going to refer how to use a particular tag when we build lightning web component, because everything is again at the end of the day HTML, isn't it? So just like how we have standard HTML tags, okay, we do have bunch of tags introduced by Salesforce. Okay, yeah. So we have this lightning button, we have this lightning accordion, and this is the place where you go and then see in action how this code will work. Okay, just like how W3 consortium, W3 schools, has this particular page where it tells you that, okay, if you use this image tag, and if you use this src as an attribute, and if you send an image link, okay, in the browser, it will show that image. So that's the definition, right, of this image tag, correct? Just like that, Salesforce has put together a nice website where you can just see things in action. So Salesforce says that, hey, this is how you should write the code. Okay, and this is the output that you will get. If I change something right here, you can see the changes happening, in the on the top. Okay, so that's how you can or this is the place where you can find all the components, rather, the tags. Okay, the tags or HTML elements supported, okay, in lightning web component. Okay, yeah. So not only that, it will also help you to understand each and every every attribute, okay, in the tag. For example, I'm seeing class, I'm seeing, on section toggle. Well, maybe I'll just pick some simple ones. Okay, there is this button. Okay, and you can just see this, right? Salesforce says that I can able to create variety of buttons, okay, using their own tag, lightning button. Okay, and there is something called variant, label, title. So what does it really mean? Okay, so don't worry, this is the place where you can find the documentation, okay, for each and every attribute. Okay, so it tells you in detail about about this button. Okay, not only that, if you go to specification, and please guys, if you don't see my voice coming out well, please unmute yourself and then tell me. I'll try my best to increase my volume. Okay, yeah, having a real tough time in speaking speaking today. All right, so this is the specification. Okay, so we did see label, we did see name, we did see value, and we did see variant, right? You will see the definition and description of each and every tags, every attributes. Okay, so Um, so this is one place where you can find all the details. Okay, don't have to go again anywhere else. Just come to this gallery, see what this particular tag does, and understand more by going through documentation and specification. Okay, you also have a sample code given by Salesforce, right? Yeah, given by Salesforce. So you can refer this code, copy and paste code, and then make some additional changes. Okay, so that's how we can slowly start with our Lightning Web Component development. Okay, yeah. So you will find loads and loads of tags available. Uh, one would be this carousel. I was asking yesterday, right? Hey, is there any HTML standard tag that I can use to show something like this, an image with a title, okay, and with a left and right option to navigate. Yeah, carousels, right? So is there something like this, in HTML? No, we don't have. But what Salesforce team has done is, they have built their own HTML tag. Okay, yeah, lightning carousel image. You can give a image. You can set the parameters. Okay, so the output you will just see the images with the title, etc. Okay, how is that possible? Okay, because today we know that lightning carousel image is not a standard tag, correct? If that is the case, how do you think this code will work in the browser, right? So this is where the web components concept come into the play. You and I can also create a tag, something like this. We can give any name you want, okay, and you can make it work. You can make the browser recognize your tag and then show the output. Okay, so that's what we're going to do it very we're gonna start with. Okay, so that you will understand the significance of all these tags, the effort that Salesforce has put in creating a rich set of web components. Okay, so we will use these terms interchangeably. Okay, I'll go back to the where is this one? Yeah, so we use the terms web components, okay, which is nothing but set of standards to build an HTML element. Okay, see, to build an HTML element using again the plain JavaScript. Okay, yeah. So so you will use this term web components or build an custom HTML element. I'll rather put it that way, because whatever you are seeing right here, right? Lightning carousel, we did see lightning button, right? So everything is custom element, correct? Yeah, because as per the W3 consortium, only the tags that you are seeing right here, right, are the standard tags. Okay, yeah, but these ones are something that we create. So I'm gonna call it as custom HTML element. Yeah, so so web components will help you to build a custom HTML element using plain JavaScript. How do I do that? So let's create one simple component and then see how it is working. Okay, then we can switch to Lightning Web Component. Okay, yeah. So I'll go back to the project. Okay, that we created yesterday. I'll go to my VS Code, and yes, so this is the project, right? That we created yesterday in VS Code, right? And remember the extension that we use to run our HTML files. It's a live server extension, correct? I did give the link to download VS Code just in case if you don't have the VS Code right already installed on your machine. So just ensure that that is downloaded and installed. Yeah, number one, and then so I'm gonna create my first component. Okay, component dot custom HTML element. Okay, so I'll go right here. What I'll do is yeah, I'll add component. I'll add a simple tag. Okay. Um, Say something. That's my tag name. Okay. Yeah. So I'll save this. I'll right click and open in live server. It will certainly open up the, yeah, yeah. So nothing is there is no error. In fact, if I go to the inspect, look at the HTML, it has this one, correct? But I really wanted to, print something. Okay, for example, um, um, I'll say value. Okay, yeah, value equal to, I'll just say uh, happy Sunday. Okay, and let's say I want to define a color. Okay, equal to, if I just gave blue, what I'm gonna the expectation is I want this, okay, to display happy Sunday, to display the value, right, on the screen, okay, with the color applied. So in this case, happy Sunday to be displayed, and the color, text color blue should be displayed. Okay, yeah. So but again, this says something, it's not a standard HTML tag, correct? But using this web components technology, I can able to build this component all by myself from the scratch. Just see how it works. Okay, before that, we'll go and then see any change in the output. No, right? Nothing is there. Yeah, so you will just still see the code. That is this. It's there, right? But the browser did ignore this because browser doesn't know what this say something mean, right? So this is where we're going to write some additional code. Okay, so where do I start? So as I said, right, this web component set of standards. Yeah, set of standards. So so it is nothing but a JavaScript, a simple JavaScript file with some predefined methods. Okay, this is how the structure of the JavaScript should be when you create a web component. And trust me, the once you create a web component, right, using plain JavaScript, you can use that component in any JavaScript framework libraries, any JavaScript like React, Angular, LWC, whatever it is. Okay, so it makes it reusable, okay, and available to work across multiple frameworks. Okay, anyways, so essentially what we do is we have to give a name to our class, then it should extend another class. Okay, this is what we call web APIs. Okay, HTML element is called web APIs. Okay, so remember the word extends I said yesterday, right? So whenever you use extends keyword in JavaScript, you are actually inheriting a class. That's all it is. Okay, and this constructor, right? Yeah, so unlike the typical object oriented programming languages where you define a constructor method having same name as the class name, correct? But here in JavaScript, it's not complete object oriented programming language. Okay, it's a mix of all. So that's the reason explicitly you have to say, hey, this is the constructor, and this super, okay, will in will get the code ready to call methods and properties from parent class, which is the inherited class, which is HTML element. That's all it is. Other than that, these three are called lives. These disconnected callback, or system defined lifecycle hooks. System defined lifecycle hooks. So what happens is when I add a particular element, something like this, right? Something like this, correct? And when the browser is loading this element, whatever code that you write inside the connected callback will get called. Yeah, and when you move from that page to other page, whatever code that you write inside this will get called. And when you change some value from happy Sunday to happy weekend, okay, so whatever code that you write inside this, right, inside these two, okay, will help you to capture, hey, this was the value, this is the new value. So that attribute change can be programmatically accessed, okay, using this observed attributes and attribute change to callback. Okay, so there are much more than this. Okay, but this is the basics of web components. Okay, so once a class is created, all I have to do is I just have to use this custom elements dot define. Okay, this is more like a message you are sending to HTML parser and JavaScript engine in your browser. You are telling your browser that, can you know what, I'm gonna create my own element with the name my element, and when this tag, okay, is when this tag is added in the in the HTML, don't ignore it. You are telling the HTML parser and the JavaScript engine in your browser, saying that go to this particular class. You can just say the match in the class name, right? Execute the code written inside the class. So in that way, your tag will not be ignored by the browser. Okay, it will be still, it will run and it will display, the or execute. Okay, so keeping this in mind, I'm going to create my first element. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll copy this. I will create, I'll give a name, let's say element, oh sorry, say something, right? Yeah, .js. Okay, yeah, and what I'm gonna do is I'll bring this right here. So I'll copy everything right here. Yeah, okay, and for now let's make it very very simple. I'll only keep, again, all these are system defined lifecycle hooks. Okay, so you cannot just like that change the function name. Okay, yeah, so you will also use connected disconnected callback in Java in our Lightning Web Component as well. Okay, so let's see. I want to give a class name. Let's say something. Okay, I'll go with that. And my element name, I'm gonna say something. It's the element name. HTML tag name. Yeah, that's it. So now what happens is, when the HTML when this HTML file is opened up in the browser, when this line 36 is reached, okay, so the code inside this class file will start executing. Okay, yeah. So now what I would like to really do is, let's try this. In the connected callback, right? So let's access. Okay, access the attributes and its use. Okay, so what do we mean by that? So for example, uh, there was a question yesterday, right, Rajesh? Difference between let, difference between constant, and when do we use where, etc. I'm going to use this constant now. Okay, so remember what does constant mean when you declare a variable, setting this constant as an access modifier, right? What happens is I can't change this one. I cannot change this uh, value, to something else. I can't do that. It will throw an error. Okay, so that concept that I'm going to use it. Okay, yeah. So the first one is I'm just capturing this one. Let's say SZ value. Okay, so the point is whatever the value that is entered by the user, okay, or given in the tag, that's going to be red. Okay, that's the first thing. Number two, I'll do the same thing. SZ underscore text color. Yeah, and again I'll copy this, I'll put it right here. So this has to match the attribute name and whatever you are trying to read, right? So you will read the attribute value through this name. Okay, so attributes values. Okay, using thank you. All right. Coffee. this dot attribute. It's a system function, JavaScript function, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay. So once this is done, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply write this dot inner HTML. Okay, equal to. I'll just say uh, I can write my own HTML. That's the of it. Okay. So what I'll do is this guy is helping me. This AI right is actually helping me to write a code. So you can just see this right. So I've just created a span tag with a color. Okay, and I'm using this plus symbol to concatenate that text. That's all it is. Okay, and then I'm trying to get that color, whatever we have read. Okay, and then also showing the value. So now what happens is the value which is going to be colored, in blue in this case. That's it. Okay, so this is pretty cool, right? Yeah, let's save this. Let's save this, and then now let's go ahead and then run this. Okay, yeah. So very simple. What we did is we just created our own web component. Okay, so now all I have to do is I just have to excuse me. Just give me 1 minute. I'll have water. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is, where is my body tag? Everything is right here, right? Okay, good. So what I'll do is I'll simply add this script file. Okay. So we did create the say something.js, right? I'll just say something uh, dot js. That's all it is. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I can put this in the head as well, not a problem. Okay, so that's all it is. So now when my the point is right, when this HTML is loaded in the browser, it will load this JavaScript file. Okay, so it knows that some code as Rajesh written, right? And when it hits this line number 38, right? Line number 38, the HTML parser will think that, hey, this is not a standard element. Okay, then what it will do is it will look into the JavaScript files to see if there is any, custom code written to get this tag recognized and get it working. Okay, so certainly, right, we did load this initially, the JavaScript file, and also we did the mapping, correct? Yeah, we are saying that, hey, I did create a custom element and this is the name of the custom element and this is the code that needs to be executed, correct? Yeah. So now let's see whether it works or not. Do I see this? I can just see this happy weekend, right? You can just see this right there. Earlier it was now I'm seeing this right here. Let's move it side by side so that we can just see this working. Okay. What I'll do is yeah. So I'm going to change the under the HTML. Let me change the value. Okay, from happy weekend to happy Sunday. See, you are seeing the values getting changed, right? Yeah. So now our code, right, the custom element that we created, okay, it started working, isn't it? I started recognized by the browser. So I changed the color to red. It changes to red. Okay, so I can do anything like this. What I did is I made a simple, very simple web component. Yeah, so I hope this is clear, what we did now, correct? Because this is precisely what Salesforce has done. What Salesforce has done is they created, just like say something, they created lightning carousel image, they created lightning button, this one, just like how you and I introduced this text color value, right? They created all these attributes behind the scenes. When you add this lightning button or any custom elements that you see right here, correct? Yeah, in your lightning web component code, behind the scenes it is the framework, that Salesforce lightning web component framework will load the necessary JavaScript files to make the browser recognize, okay, this is not this is not a tag that I should ignore. there is a bit of code that needs to be executed. Okay, so that's how Salesforce has built a lot of web components, and that is the reason Salesforce named their their framework as Salesforce Lightning Web Components. Of course, we know why Lightning is, because the UI is Lightning, correct? So Salesforce Lightning Web Components. They did create a lot of such web reusable components. That is the good part is, right, because we have these components, right? It makes our life easy, isn't it? Yeah, it makes our life easy. I don't have to build anything using the plain JavaScript, plain HTML. Salesforce has done that for me. Think about it. If you have to create a button with this green color, and when I take my cursor over to this green color button, right, it changes the background to dark green, right, and also changes the foreground color of the text to white, correct? So I can do that. I can do that very simply. I mean, very simply, as in it's using plain JavaScript and HTML. So I can go to my HTML code, right, and I can just simply add a button, something like this. But this is going to be a plain button, isn't it? Yeah, I can say success. So this will bring a button to the screen. I can start adding styles. Styles. Saying that color is green. Yeah, but now what I should do is I have to write some additional piece of code on change, or let's say on mouse over. Okay, I have to make a call to a JavaScript function saying change background color. Okay, I have to start writing code. So I need a JavaScript file inside which I will just start writing the code that will get this functionality done. Correct, I can do that, but again, as a developer you can do it, but how many lines of code that you will end up writing? Certainly, right? Certainly more number of it. Instead, Salesforce says that why do you have to waste time? I already have a custom element, or a custom web component named lightning button. So you just mention the variant. So for example, this is the base one, right? So for success, okay, I'll remove everything. Okay, just to make it simple. You are seeing this one, correct? Salesforce says that you can play around with the values in variant attribute. Okay, let's say I just make it as error, or what is it? Is it E or I? Okay, I made a mistake. Okay, so this is where the specification again is going to help. Okay, I can go to specification to understand the significance of variant attribute. It says that it will help you change the appearance of the button, correct? So these are the possible values it could take: base, neutral, brand, etc. So I could be used, if I use descriptive, let's see what happens. Okay, I'll go back to the example, and I can simply change the variant to destructive. Just see what happens. Immediately I can just see the appearance changing, right? Yeah, so that's how easy it is. Okay, so that is the reason we can make use of Salesforce's web components as much as possible when we build a lightning web component, when we build a component all by ourselves, right? In our Salesforce org. Okay, of course you have the liberty to use plain HTML, JavaScript. Nobody's going to stop you. Okay, but try your best to use these components. Okay, so that you are able to write minimal number of code. Okay, and also very quickly develop your computer implementation. Yeah, so that's the background about web components. Okay, what is SLDSM? So just one second, just hold on for a few more minutes, Deepak. We will talk about this SLDS, the Lightning Design System. Okay, yeah, because wherever you go, Salesforce is going to come along with you as a friend and then help you. So this SLDS is also an helper when you want to design your screen. Design as in when you want to style your components, style your tags, etc. Okay, we will talk about that. Yeah. LWC tags carousel, let's say using JavaScript from huh? Lightning carousel, let's say using JavaScript from Lightning element parent class in the backend, like we saw HTML custom elements example. I am not able to understand this.
Hey, hi Rajesh. So basically, we saw we were using script tag, right, in the while we are building custom elements, and we were writing JS code, right? So are we doing the same in case of Lightning Carousel or all the
No,
LWC tags? No.
you don't have to do it. Salesforce will does the magic for you. That's the reason Salesforce says that, right? When you write your code, oh, where did the code go? Where is the project? Remember yesterday we created one simple Lightning Web component where we added, where is this? This one, right? This template tag. Okay. So whatever code you did, right? Let's say I'm using button. Maybe I'll copy this instead of typing. Okay, I'll copy this. Yeah. If I put this right here, okay, I don't have to explicitly, add a script tag and then say that I'm using this lightning button. No, you don't have to do that. Salesforce will does that for you. When you when you just deploy this code, behind the scenes it takes every piece of code inside the template, it clones it, it modifies, it adds scripts, it adds necessary security controls needed to protect your code. All such things will be taken care by Salesforce. Okay, you don't have to do that. Yeah. Anyways, we will create a Lightning Web component right away. You will see that as well. Okay. Okay, slot tag. I have reserved a specific use case for that. We will come. We will talk about the slot tag as well. Very special tag. Okay, more like a a resort parking. Okay, yeah, interesting concept. Comes really handy when you create Lightning Web components for your experience cloud sites or commerce cloud websites. Okay, we will discuss. Yeah. All right. So now we have some fundamental understanding, right, about understanding as in why are we or why it is important to learn HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and certain concepts around the template tag export. So the next time when you create a Lightning Web component, you can explain the significance of template tag. Correct? If somebody asks you, right, where is this HTML tag gone? You are saying that you are writing HTML code, but where is the HTML tag, height tag, body tag, etc. Everything in Sales Code takes care of it. Okay, because we are dealing with this dynamic tag. Number two, when you have a JavaScript file, if somebody asks you, right, what is this import, what is this export, right? Now you can able to know one. You can able to simply explain them because it is nothing but reusing using existing JavaScript code that is written in another file. So in this LWC file, there is a class. There is a class created. We are just simply importing that class and then trying to inherit the class. That's all it is. Okay, and every component that you create, okay, hello world, at the end of the day, this is also a tag. Just like how we created this say something, right? You are actually creating web component, you are actually creating custom elements. Okay, you will understand this better when we start using this. Okay, yeah. So I'll close this one. Now it is time to start deploying first Lightning Web component. Okay, yeah.